Welcome to 15 News Weekly, news and activities happening in and around Southfield. Here's your update. Many studies have shown that there are numerous benefits to having hobbies, especially for children. Hobbies give a child a foundation from which to express themselves and discover their talents, as well as teach them how to achieve goals and solve problems. Having hobbies also creates a healthy, happier child that understands the importance of spending less time glued to television or their electronics and more time communicating and connecting. With over 150 stores nationwide, Hobbytown is a national franchise that provides products that promote family fun and entertainment centered around various hobbies. The local Hobbytown, located at 11 Mile Road in Lahser, is a family-run outlet that caters to retail hobby and specialty toy aficionados.
Hobbytown is all about fun. We do all kinds of models, model trains, model cars, model rockets, and model airplanes. Hobbytown is proud to be a provider of a full range of hobby products.
With so many distractions with social media, video games, and the like, Hobbytown ownership feels that the venue harkens back to much simpler times when it was routine for children to enjoy quality family time engaging in hobbies with their parents. Hobbytown staff feels that there is an educational component to promoting hobbies, one that could even influence future career decisions.
A lot of people start out flying airplanes, for example, and then later on they become a pilot. A lot of people start out playing with trains, and later on they become a train engineer. So hobbies are in a lot of cases, en route into a career.
The Southfield Hobbytown store also conducts community outreach by sponsoring engagement programs that help expand the outlook of school-age children through various hobby projects.
So today we're actually focusing more so on STEM, and we're going to be helping the children to learn to do a little bit more with science, math, technology. And so today we want to introduce our community to some of those products that we have in our store, and by time summer arrives, for 1 week, every day, Monday through Friday, we'll have a 1-week program with an expert teaching our children a little bit more about math and science, so we expect to have a lot of fun.
The venue promotes the idea of spending at least an hour of dedicated time to a hobby each day.
Studies show that children between the age of 6 and 12, they're 75% now have a cell phone. Wow, that's good news and bad news. Okay, so if you use it properly. So what we want to do for our community is invite our children to take the pledge to spend at least 1 hour a day doing a hobby. And so you sign the document today and you pledge, and your parent knows what you're doing, your parent signs as well, and you spend your time off of the cell phone and off of social media, Snapchat, Facebook, and things of that sort.
On March 26, 2018, the Southfield City Council approved a rental apartment inspection ordinance. This ordinance is the result of numerous complaints from tenants about the lack of maintenance and upkeep from some of the local rental properties. With the health, safety, welfare, and protection of the tenants and public in mind, the City Council and Mayor decided to take action.
This ordinance is for the protection of residents in the apartment complexes. This ordinance is really about their health, their safety, the appearances of the building, as well as their overall welfare. In Southfield, we have roughly 14,000 apartment units. Some of the landlords are absolutely stellar in how they maintain their buildings, and others, I'm sorry to say, are not. And they're very slow on addressing appearance issues, very slow on making repairs, or in some cases they are just, quite frankly, they're milking the properties and spending as little as possible.
Beginning Monday, April 9th, 2018, Ordinance 1661 will require the landlord or building owner to pay a reasonable $100 apartment inspection fee, not the tenant. The Southfield Building Department will only inspect 20% of all of the units in a given complex. City inspectors will only look for items related to building code compliance, including ground fault outlets shall be tested for proper operation and wiring. Sinks, lavatories, bathtubs, showers, and laundry facilities shall provide a minimum hot water temperature of 110 degrees. Walls and ceilings shall be free from cracks, unsecured or damaged plaster, drywall, and peeling or chipped paint. Flooring shall be securely attached and free from tripping hazards, holes, or loose materials. Windows shall be free of cracks, and operable windows shall be provided with insect screens, locks, and proper hardware. Sinks and toilets shall be securely fastened to the floor or wall. Residents are not required by the city to pay the inspection fee. Rather, the building owners are responsible. Most cities have similar ordinances designed to protect residents, not apartment owners. Proper notice will be given for any city inspection, with only 20% of all units randomly inspected. And again, this ordinance is enacted to protect the health, safety, and welfare of all Southfield residents.
We are not going to allow blight. We are not going to allow this city to slide. We are trying to redevelop and renew our community. We've had a lot of reinvestment here, and we expect our landlords to toe the line and keep these properties up. And let's face it, we are an aging community. Most of our housing stock was built 40, 50, 60 years ago. It needs maintenance, and this is what this is all about.
For more information, call the building department at 248-796-4100.
The floor of the Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology, also known as A&T, was filled with remote-control student-built robots competing in a competitive series of tasks. As the robots carried out their task, numerous students who filled the stands cheered on their teammates in a pep rally-style environment. Such was the mood and tone for Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology as it recently hosted the latest FIRST robotics competition. With more than 40 area schools from around the state participating, the event proved to be a showcase of the future as students put their best foot forward in presenting their vision of robotic construction, design, and programming, and using it to overcome various challenges.
So today they're taking the robot out of the bag, so they have to bag it for certain periods of time so that they don't work on it. It's to keep the amount of time that all the teams work on the robot equal. And so they only have a limited amount of time today to test the robot, and they're going to do some programming changes and test some of the mechanics of it. So this weekend is our first competition. It's actually going to occur here at the school, at Southfield High School. And so they're really preparing. They've created a practice field here with some wood to kind of recreate parts of the field. So they're going to practice scoring by placing the power cube that is the challenge this year onto different height shelves, and also going to see if the robot can climb.
Founded in 1989, FIRST, which is an acronym translated as For Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology, is an international organization which holds robotics, Lego, and technology competitions aimed at inspiring youth to join the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math fields. It started with 28 teams, but has since grown to include more than 2,700 teams in 92 cities from around the globe, with one of the largest concentration of teams residing in Michigan. For the students, the competition is an exercise in commitment, dedication, and skill at crafting robots who can carry out specific tasks in the competition.
Each year is a certain task for the robot, and right now, this year, we have to pick up cubes and place them on a 7-foot scale.
Mentor coaches also commit to the team and the students, as evidenced by the amount of time spent assisting the students not only academically or with technical issues, but also with social and emotional growth. Overall, the program benefits the students in many ways.
Well, I think it's really important because there's a lot of different aspects to it. There's the obvious parts, like the actual mechanics of building a robot, but then there's also electronics, so there's wiring, and there's programming, there's community outreach as part of it, where they go out to other schools and share the project at FIRST. So and there's even team spirit and other things that are brought in. So it combines like all the good things of sports with education and science, and I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for students to learn about all different types of technology.
organized this walkout. It was hosted by the Women's March Association, and it's a 17-minute walkout at 10 o'clock. And we did this in retrospect to standing up to the laws against gun violence. We feel that, especially now more than ever after what just happened a few weeks ago in Douglas High School, where 17 students and teachers were killed due to a shooting, we felt that it was necessary to have something like this. Unfortunately, it's necessary to have something like this. We have students who are killed every day since Columbine, even before then, for gun laws that can be restricted to keep everyone safe. This is a safe place. We're supposed to come here to learn.
We have had enough. You all have had enough, and it's time to make a change.
So we chose a student that matched the age from one of the students who was murdered last week from Douglas. And they read a small fact about something about one of the members who died last week. And we matched them up also by something that they like to do as well.
I am Elena Petty. I was a freshman. I loved my friends, family, and my faith.
We wanted to take random members from our school instead of just going to the usual student council, the usual class board members. We wanted to go to random students because that's how it is. It's just random. It could be anybody. It could be your lab partner. It could be your math tutor. It could be your person in your NHS. It's anyone. So that's how we decided who was going to come up here and read off those names. Here at UHSA, we support anything we believe in, and we believe in the right to stand up for what we believe in, and so that's what we did.
Let us march on till victory is won.
As winter transitions into spring, various road construction and capital improvement projects continue at a steady pace. City engineer Leah Schultz keeps us informed with her latest round of road improvement updates.
Right, some of our worst segments of road were actually going to get completed and fixed up this year. One of them being the northbound Northwestern Service Drive, so all the way from Southfield to Lasser. So this, all along, really that whole 2-mile stretch, we've got pretty rough pavement, so it'll be nice to see that resurfaced. There's going to be an on-street bike lane added for about a mile of that project, and then filling in some sidewalk gaps there as well. We've also got 11 mile that we're going to be rebuilding from Bell Road, which is west of Lasser, to Arlington, which is east of Lasser. That road's also going to include some filling in of some sidewalk gaps so that we have that connectivity all the way to the new sidewalk we put in on Bell Road. We've also got 9 Mile Road. This is another one people are looking forward to. So from Telegraph to Lasser, that road is going to be resurfaced. There's a very large bridge just west of Lasser near Sutton Place Apartments. That bridge is going to be totally replaced. We have federal bridge funding which pays for 95% of the construction for that bridge replacement. Because it's a bridge replacement, that segment of road between Berg and Lasser is going to be 100% closed to through traffic. So that's going to be important. We'll get the word out there through cable and through local media to make sure that people understand what the detour routes are for that piece of road.
Most of the projects will begin construction around June and be completed in one calendar season. Check the cityofsouthfield.com webpage for further details and updates. If you haven't heard about the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, you may need to check your Wi-Fi connection because there's no shortage of information out there, to the point of it being overwhelming. The legislation impacts everyone, corporations and individuals, and Southfield tax experts Diana Pegler, president of ELE Pegler, LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services, and Ellis Liddell, chairman, CEO of ELE Wealth Management, LLC, will help us unpack the entire bill in understandable terms. The first matter to address is whether the new bill has made it easier to do individual taxes.
It depends on the financial status of each individual taxpayer. For corporate America, it was across the board, and their tax rate is 21%, whereas with individuals, there are 7 different tax brackets.
And as a result of the 7 different tax brackets, it helps to determine whether or not you are going to itemize or take a standard deduction. And because the standard deduction is $12,000 for an individual and $24,000 for a married couple filing joint, due to that, most people don't have $24,000 worth of things to itemize. So it's going to really help simplify the tax return.
With a new bill often comes new forms, but these new forms won't be necessary until next year.
Well, this particular Jobs Act and tax cut is effective for tax year 2018. It does not affect 2017 at all. It's business as usual.
Except for corporate America, the tax became automatically implemented upon the signing. So corporate America's tax rate went down, and as it's going to affect them in a positive way, and a number of corporations are actually giving bonuses off the tax savings. So the individuals working for those corporations that chose to give bonuses are going to get a pay raise, as they say. They're going to get an increase in their pay.
Eliminated tax deductions has drawn much interest, with less impact on corporations and a more concentrated effect on individuals.
Well, as we've just stated, corporate America is not directly impacted by this. There are some amendments that are being addressed but have not passed yet. Mainly it's going to affect individuals, and the one particular item that affects the individual the most is the personal exemption allowance. It's been incrementing by $50. It affects every individual on the tax return, including dependents. And next year it would have been $4,100. $4,100 per person on the tax return is gone. In place of that, you have your lower tax brackets, you have a higher standard deduction. The child tax credit is going to be $2,000 per child instead of $1,000. However, it's important to note that the year in which the child turns 17 years of age, that child tax credit goes away.
Projected negative outcomes has created a conundrum with corporations, as some have given raises to their employees in anticipation of the cuts, while others feel that corporations cannot afford the cuts.
In terms of the employees getting bonuses, most employees would rather have a pay raise versus a one-time bonus, but there will potentially be a deficit because of the reduction with the corporate tax rate. And there are many people who are going to benefit from the estate that's been increased from $5 million to $10 million.
Now, let's just look at it from the corporate side. If I pay my employee more money, that employee is going to in turn put more money back into the economy. If the economy is moving, then there's going to be more jobs created, and when you start looking at the long-term effects of it, the deficit should be offset by the spending. Now, if we're encouraging everybody to save everything, then it doesn't work. But unfortunately, everybody's not going to save everything, and human nature is going to dictate that a lot of that money is going to get spent into new cars, new refrigerators, new washers and dryers, and it's going to just keep spinning the economy in the right direction.
Some of the things that are disappointing that will be eliminated: the home equity loan. If you do home improvements and you've taken a loan out to do those home improvements, in 2018 tax year, you can no longer do that. State, local, and property taxes, they have combined those. On your wages, you have withholding for state, and if you live in a city that has a local tax, that tax plus your real estate taxes are being capped at a maximum of $10,000. If someone makes $100,000, they would reach $10,000 very easily, but it's being capped for those 3 items at $10,000.
Whose idea was this?
The United States government, your Senate and House on the federal level, approved this tax bill in December of 2017.
Was it one of those deals done in the middle of the night, late at night?
Well, I understand that there was not a whole lot of input from other political parties.
And not a whole lot of input from the citizens either, right?
Zero.
Aha. So therefore, this bill could be changing or the taxes could be changing, amended, changed before the final thing comes out.
Absolutely. People are looking at it right now, and if the political climate changes, potentially this particular tax law could change. Stay tuned.
That brings us to the end of this 15 News Weekly edition. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.